Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Abdullah Patel English High School and the RT Junior College. Today we are going to start by our subject history, chapter number 9, that is World Decolonization. This chapter is divided into two parts. 9.1 is decolonization of Asia, 9.2 is the decolonization of Africa. Today we are going to cover both the topics in this video. So be active and listen. Now, in this lesson, as I have already said that about it is the process of decolonization in Asia and Africa, we are going to study the few countries related to Asia and Africa. So, starting by 9.1, that is the decolonization of Asia. In the first half of the 20th century, decolonization did not take very long. In many of the Asian and African countries, the process of decolonization was accelerated in short time because of the conflict among European colonizers, countries, occurrences of First and Second World War, and the anti-colonial movement in the colonies. The European countries could not have reasoned out colonization and the exploitation of the colonies from intellectual platform. The Indian freedom movement had reached culminating point under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, and the situation of England had become aware of the reality of their diminishing power. This resulted in gradually introducing the system of internal autonomy in the some of the colonies. Germany and Turkey were defeated in the First World War, as we have already started. Okay, to manage the administration of the colonies, which were under control of Germany and Turkey, the League of Nations introduced the system of trustees. England and France were entrusted with the role of trustees. Later, India and the other countries successively gained their independence. In 1971, England withdrew its army from the Gulf of Iran. After that, England realized its hold on Singapore, Indochina, Morocco. As you remember, Azad Hind Sena. Okay, so that has also came over here. So India realized about that, and Indochina, Morocco, Tunisia and Algeria were under the French domination at that time. So those countries became independent. By the end of the 20th century, South Africa also gained independence. Means many of the colonial the countries which were under the colonialism has been got independence. Colonial came to an end. Gradually, the process of decolonization was completed. United Nations was largely responsible for the facilitating this process. United Nations, remember, in our 8th chapter we have studied United Nations was started or founded after Second World War. League of Nations after First War, United Nations after Second World War. Okay, so on after the foundation of the other colonial, the states, the countries which were under colonial rule has been decolonized. The country is Maldives over here. Portuguese entered Maldives in 1507. Since then, Maldives began paying tribute to Portuguese in Goa. In 1573, the Portuguese rule was ended in by Muhammad Thakur Huna al-Azam from Malabar. After his accession as the Sultan of Maldives, he made a treaty with the Dutch and gave them the administrative responsibility of Maldives. Means he has taken from Portuguese and handed over to the Dutch. From there on, the Sultan of Maldives began to pay tribute to the Dutch in Sri Lanka. Later, Maldives was taken over by the British. Earlier it was in Portuguese. Then Sultan has given to Dutch, and then Dutch to British. They built a naval base and a radio transmission center in Maldives. They also took Indian laborers to work in the paddy fields in the Maldives. Maldives became independent on 26th July 1965 by a treaty signed at Colombo. Then next is Sri Lanka. Now what happened at Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka was ruled by Britishers from 1798 to 1948. Okay. They took over Sri Lanka by defeating the Dutch and the Portuguese. There were uprising in Sri Lanka against the British rule. The British plantation owners had taken many laborers from Tamil Nadu to work in coffee plantation. In Sri Lanka, the British dominated the production and markets of the coffee, tea, rubber and coconut. They developed Colombo as an international port city. They also established colleges and universities in Sri Lanka and encouraged Buddhist studies. Sri Lanka became independent in 1948. Myanmar, that is the Bangladesh. This has also we have studied If you remember, we have studied about Myanmar, Brahmdesh. It is also called as Brahmdesh. In 1599, the Portuguese defeated the king of one of the kingdom in Myanmar. However, in 1611, various dynasties ruling in Myanmar got together, defeated the Portuguese and amalgamated their kingdoms, means united their kingdoms. United Myanmar adopted an expansionist policy and conquered Manipur and Assam. It meant that the British Indian territory was under threat of being invaded, a situation that caused 3 wars between the British and Myanmar, as we have studied. If you remember, Carnatic Wars. The first war in 1826 was won by the British, and they took over Assam and Manipur. They also defeated Myanmar in the second war. At about the same time, the French had taken over the region of Upper Burma. In the third war, the British won this region too, thereby ruling over entire Myanmar. This is Anglo, you can say. Anglo means anti, okay, anti-British war. The British administration annexed Myanmar as a province of British India in the 1935. It was again separated from India and was granted autonomy. After 1937, the people in Myanmar created an organization called Burma Independence Army under the leadership of Aung San. This organization helped the Japanese during Second World War. It looked like a downslide for the British. However, they strengthened their hold in Myanmar once again with the help of America. The British learned their lesson that as administrator, they could not afford to neglect the popular opinion in our country. They appointed Aung San as vice president. The British granted independence to Myanmar on 4th January 1948. This only because of the efforts of the people, efforts of the civilians. Myanmar had been united, and after the unity, as the unity was seen by the Britishers now felt that now they are not going to rule over here. Now they whatever they are going to say, the people are not going to listen. Okay, so this was the thing that Britishers thought, and they granted independence to Myanmar finally. 9.2 Decolonization of Africa. During the 15 years period of 1950 to 1965, people in the European colonies in Africa freed themselves from the foreign rule. The education system imposed by the Europeans was aligned to them, means they were not knowing. Okay, ironically, African leaders were trained in this aligned educational system, and their education had introduced them to American independence struggle, French Revolution, and nationalism. The African people became aware of nationalism and national pride. As I already said to you, that when the geographical explorer went to Africa, over there when they navigate the islands of Africa, okay, so Arrows, I hope you remember the island of Arrows, Mizaros. Okay, so when they discovered this thing, so they discovered gold mines also. They were having some people, African people also, so they bought gold mines also, and the people of Africa also, and the people of Africa was made slaves of the people who have searched them, the people of Portugal. The African people became aware of nationalism and national pride over here, as they have been trained. African people were trained by Europeans. After the Second World War, nationalism got a further boost. England and France gradually began to grant more rights to the African in their colonies. This strengthened the independence movement in African nations. Bandung Conference. India called the first conference of Asian country in 1947. A representative of 25 Asian countries were present of the conference. In this conference, the concept of Asian regionalism was shaped. This issue, like common problem faced by ancient people, the social, economic and cultural problem of the ancient country, and the need of mutual cooperation among ancient countries were discussed in this conference. This conference was followed by the first conference of the Asian and African countries held in 1955 at Bandung in Indonesia. This is known as Bandung Conference. In this conference, the problem of Afro-Asian countries were discussed, and it was decided to focus on the world peace and mutual cooperation. Then finally, there was the cooperation Bandung Conference, and it was decided that whatever the problem is that the people are facing over here, we are not going to face any problem. We will fight for our right. Okay, we will fight for the world peace. Now we want peace and a mutual cooperation. A unity we will be seen. We will be show in front of whoever will be stand in front of us. So we will show that we are a cooperative one. We are one people. We are not going to have any kind of war. We are peace loving people. Okay, so this was decided in this conference. Concept of African unity. H.S. Williams was the first person to think of the African unity. He formed an organization while in London called African Association, later called as Pan-African Association. He organized its first conference in 1900. V.E.B. Du Bois, an American sociologist of African origin, was presented in this conference. In 1919, a second conference of African leaders and thinkers was held at Paris, known as Pan-African Congress. Thereafter, W.E.B. Du Bois and his associates called a series of Pan-African Congress at various places. This resulted in the idea of Pan-African unity taking deep roots in Africa. The fifth Pan-African Congress held at Manchester in 1945 by people of African origin living in Manchester. Now here what happened, here the problem is of the organization. The first person who has thought for the organization of Africa was started in the London by H.S. Williams. Okay, he started as a Pan-African Association, later one. He organized the first conference in 1900. It was further started by W.E.B. Du Bois, an American sociologist of African origin. Means this person is also belong to African race. Over here, he was present in the conference, and in 1919, what happened in the second conference when African leaders and thinker was held, it was held at Paris, and that conference was renamed as Pan-African Congress. It is not conference or association, it is now Congress. Thereafter, W.E.B. Du Bois and his associate called a series of Pan-African Congresses at various places. Means now the meeting started each and every places. This resulted in an idea of Pan-African unity taking deep roots in Africa. Means now there was the importance of African people. Now they are no more as a slaves. Okay, they are freed now. The fifth Pan-African Congress held at Manchester in 1945 by the people of African origin living in Manchester. Means now people of Africa, they have arranged the meeting for themselves. Means they are free from the rule. Decolonization in the African continent. The First World War began in the 1914. At that time, except Libya and Ethiopia, entire African continent was ruled by European powers. European colonies in Africa, that is almost the entire continent, got involuntarily involved in the war. Soon after the onset of the war, England and France began to attack the German colonies in Africa. After the defeat of Germany in the war, allied nations began to compete with each other for occupying German colonies in Africa. Means each and everyone want to have a hold on Africa, as Africa was having good geographical location, and the utmost important thing was that of the gold mines. Gold mines were also there. Okay, so each and every nation want to occupy the hold on African colonies. The American President Woodrow Wilson, considering the situation, suggested that the victorious European nations should act as a trustee of the erstwhile German colony and administer them only as a protectorates. It was necessary to give the colonies internal autonomy, hence the League of Nations decided with mutual understanding that England, France and Belgium should divide the colonies among themselves. A committee of 11 members was appointed by the League to supervise the administration of the colonies, and hence the colonies was divided between the allied nations, that is England, France and Belgium, and it was divided into 11-member committee of 11 members was appointed for this work, and this league supervised the administration of the colony. The 4 British colonies, namely Cape Colony, Natal, Orange Free State and Transvaal, were amalgamated, and the state of South Africa was created in 1920. However, the dominance of the white people continued unchanged. Egypt got its independence before the end of Second World War. Following it, Libya, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria and Ghana became independent one after another. And they, after each and every success in each and every nation, one by one, each and every nation was getting the independent. At about the middle of the 20th century, in all 12 French colonies such as Ivory Coast, Madagascar, Mali in Central Africa became independent. Along with it, Cameroon, Somalia and other colonies under the care of the League of Nations and also other European colonies became independent one by one. Algeria had to give a tough fight to get its freedom. Finally, in 1962, it became independent by conducting plebiscite. In 1964, Tanganyika and Zanzibar were amalgamated, means united, and the independent state of the United Republic of Tanzania became into existence. Prior to Second World War, Italy had taken over Ethiopia and Libya and annexed it to the Indian and Italian Empire. During the Second World War, Mussolini, the dictator of Italy, had used these two regions for launching attacks on Egypt and other British colonies in Africa. The African battleship in the Second World War had spread from Morocco and Libya in the north to Ethiopia and Somaliland on the eastern border of Africa. Remember the name, the battlefield, African battlefield in the Second World War. Okay, we are talking about Second World War, which has spread from Morocco and Libya in the north to Ethiopia and Somalia. Okay, land on the eastern border of Africa. The British Empire in Africa was in danger because of the aggression of Italy and the German General Erwin Rommel. Indian soldiers in the British Army who fought with great silence. With their help, the British could compel the combined army of Italy and Germany to retreat. Italy and Germany had to lose their colonies in Africa at the end of the Second World War in 1945. Thus, finally, Italy and Germany had to lose their army in Africa, and at the end of the Second World War in 1945. The end of the Second World War created an environment in which the processes of decolonization gained momentum. Means whatever happened, it was happened for a good reason. The best thing was that of decolonization, the colonization rule, the colonial rule has finally ended up by the Second World War. By the end of Second World War, colonial rule was also ended up. The Asian and African countries were filled with a heightened spirit of independence movement. The awareness about this movement spread rapidly. Means the news spread rapidly like a fire in the jungle. Many countries in both continents obtained their freedom. However, development in these countries were also being watched by America and Russia, the superpowers. Means superpowers were having a full-fledged knowledge that what is happening over here. Each of them was trying to attract maximum countries on its side. In the next lesson, we are going to study the Cold War and its impact on India. Okay, now as the countries were knowing, the superpowers were knowing that what is happening, and they were trying to rule, they were trying to get each and every how many whatever number of nation will attract in their turn, okay, in their team, so they want to take in their team. Okay, so this was the skillful act played by the two nations. So over here we have completed by the decolonization, world decolonization, and inshallah in the next chapter we are going to study about Cold War. What is Cold War and why it has happened and what was the impact of Cold War in India. Okay, this we are going to study in the next lesson, that is the 10th chapter. Let's have a quick revision of the chapter. We have started by decolonization of Asia. The process of decolonization accelerated in a short time because of conflicts among the European countries, the First and Second World War, and the anti-colonial movement in the colonies. England had become aware of its diminishing power and hence gradually introduced the system of internal autonomy in some colonies. Germany and Turkey were defeated in the First World War and their colonies were entrusted to other European nations. Many countries in Asia and Africa gained independence. Colonialism came to an end. The process of decolonization was completed gradually. Then we have started by Maldives. Maldives were under the rule of Portuguese since 1507. The Portuguese rule was ended in 1573 by Muhammad Thakurpano al-Azam from Malabar. He gave the administrative responsibility of Maldives to the Dutch. Later, Maldives were taken over by the British. Maldives became independent on 26th July 1965 by a treaty signed at Colombo. Then the next nation is Sri Lanka. The British ruled Sri Lanka after taking it over by defeating the Portuguese and the Dutch. There were uprisings against the British, but they dominated the production and market of coffee, tea, rubber, and coconut. They developed Colombo as an international port and also established colleges. Sri Lanka became independent in 1948. Then the last in the Asia decolonization Asia is Myanmar, that is Bangladesh. In 1599, the Portuguese defeated the king of one of the kingdom of Myanmar, but in 1611, the dynasties of Myanmar came together and defeated the Portuguese. United Myanmar conquered Manipur and Assam, posing a threat to the British territory in India. There was a fight between the British and Myanmar in which the British won and thereby ruled over entire Myanmar. In 1935, Myanmar separated from India. After 1937, Burma Independence Army under the leadership of Aung San was formed. Later, the British learned that they had to consider the popular opinion in a country and hence appointed Aung San as vice president. The British granted independence to Myanmar on 4th January 1948. Here we have completed by decolonization of Asia. Then the second part is decolonization of Africa. During the period 1950 to 1965, people in the European colonies in Africa freed themselves from the foreign rule. The education system imposed by Europeans on the people of Africa introduced them to American independence struggle, French Revolution and nationalism. After the Second World War, England and France began to grant rights to the African in their colonies, strengthening their independence movement. Then here we have started by Bandung Conference. The first conference of Asian countries was called by India in 1947, in which representatives of 25 Asian countries participated. This conference was followed by the first conference of Asian and African countries held in 1955 at Bandung in Indonesia, known as the Bandung Conference. In this conference, the problem of Afro-Asian countries were discussed and a decision was made to focus on world peace and mutual cooperation. Next is concept of African unity. H.F. Williams formed an organization called African Association and organized its first conference in 1900. In 1919, a second conference was known as Pan-African Congress was held at Paris. W.E.B. Du Bois and his associates called a series of Pan-African Congresses at various places. The fifth Pan-African Congress was held at Manchester in 1945 by people of African origin living in Manchester. And the last topic is decolonization in the African continent. During the First World War, the entire African continent except Libya and Ethiopia was ruled by European powers. Hence, almost the entire continent of Africa got involuntarily involved in the war. After Germany was defeated, the Allied nations began to compete with each other to occupy German colonies in Africa. Hence, on the suggestion of Woodrow Wilson, it was decided that the victorious European nation should act as trustees of these colonies. It was decided to divide the colonies among England, France and Belgium, and a committee of 11 members was appointed to supervise the administration of the colonies. The 4 British colonies, namely Cape Colony, Natal, Orange Free State and Transvaal, were combined together to form the state of South Africa in 1920. Various other nations in Africa became independent. The independent state of the United Republic of Tanzania came into existence in 1964. Mussolini, the dictator of Italy, used Ethiopia and Libya, which were a part of the Italian Empire, to launch attacks on Egypt and other British colonies. British Empire in Africa was in danger from the aggression of Italy and Germany. The British fought back with the help of the Indian soldiers and compelled the combined army of Italy and Germany to retreat. The end of Second World War created an environment which helped in the speeding up of the process of decolonization. The awareness about the independence movement spread rapidly in the Asian and African continents, and many countries in these continents obtained their freedom. Hence, we have completed by the revision of the topic of the chapter. I hope you have understood the chapter. There is no doubt. If still there is doubt, you can ask your question. Okay. So till then, till my next video, stay at home, stay safe. Thank you so much for listening.